I spent the entirety of the movie waiting on Diana Ross and Florence Nim to show up. and it never happened. I was like, okay. So yeah, we are going to be reviewing Earl's Stop and Shop
buffet.
All You Can Eat buffet on the side of the road.
Featuring the Supremes that don't feature Diana Ross.
Please don't be deceived. The only thing Supreme was probably one of the menu options at the diner. Okay? So this ain't that. I definitely thought Sanaa Lathan was gonna give us her best Florence impression, and this ain't that. This is far from that. Okay, yeah. Let's watch this trailer. What's the actual title? Let me not play. What's the actual title?
The actual title is The Supremes at Earl's All You Can Eat. Watch the trailer.
Look at the three of y'all walking in here all pretty and shiny. Remind me of the Supremes. Welcome to Earl's, all you can eat.
Without each other, maybe we would have believed what the world told us about ourselves. Broken pieces, hot messes, bad omens. We might have been broken hot messes when apart, but together, we painted a pretty damn good picture.
To the Supremes. To the Supremes.
Whew. All right, so
Yep.
that was the trailer for The Supremes at Earl's All You Can Eat. And as you can see, The Supremes, as we know it, were not included. And that can also be said for the entirety of this movie. So, TeaRon, I gotta ask you, let me know how you're feeling. What are some things about this movie that you did not enjoy?
I'll be honest. So when I first heard of the film, I didn't do like extensive research beforehand. I literally went into this with excitement, pure excitement, because I just liked everybody who was in like the cast. Or rather, let me put it this way. I liked everybody who was featured on the poster for the movie. And I thought I was getting into something completely different than what I did. So that's my own fault. Maybe I should have dug a little bit. Starting out, when the movie started, I felt like it was cinematically, the color grading was very dark, and I thought it was just me. Okay, so when the movie opens, we get like, we see we're in like what was we in, like the 60s or something?
Yeah.
And the overall look of the film, the way it appears was very dark. I actually at one point went out of the movie, went into my television settings to check the brightness, and the brightness was all the way up.
Oh, okay.
And then I got on another device, and I was like, okay, this movie's dark, like visually dark.
Yeah.
I guess it matches some of the storylines in the film as well. Was it just me, or was it dark? It's dark.
No, it was dark. It was dark.
Okay. I thought it was just me.
No.
Yeah. What were your initial impressions? Because, like I said, I didn't do extensive research. I just I'm gonna like this.
Yeah. I'm with you. I also did not do extensive research. A lot of times when we do these reviews, I don't like to do research in advance because I don't want to be swayed one way or another. But yeah, I'm not going to say that I was excited for the movie, but I was like, okay, I'll check it out. I'm interested, but I wasn't like excited. So yeah, I was just like, yeah, it is what it is.
So our stars in this film are Sanaa Lathan, Aunjanue Ellis, and Uzo Aduba. Is that how you say Uzo's name? Don't check.
I do believe so.
Okay. All three women, I like, love their work, respect what they can do, and I've enjoyed them in multiple, projects. And so I was like, okay, I'm about to enjoy the hell out of this. Meanwhile, we get into the movie. We're like 50 minutes in. Okay, almost an hour of watching this, and we see our main cast like once, because apparently we're in a flashback the whole time. Yo, come on. That was my biggest gripe because I feel like the movie did not get good until the flashbacks were more done. They still kept kind of going back and forth throughout, but I feel like the movie didn't get good until then. And that's honestly my biggest issue. I was like, what's the delay? What's the holdup? Because when we finally got our leading ladies doing their thing, they did their thing. Yeah. So that was my issue. What about you?
For me, I have to laugh because I do agree with you on that. But for me, my issue with this movie was a little bit more specific. There is a specific scene. It's actually one of the flashback scenes that you're talking about.
Of course.
Where Sanaa Lathan's character, Barbara Jean, goes to her ex-bae and asks him to basically murder his brother because she believes that his brother murdered her child. And so she kind of like puts the bug in his ear, like, oh, you need to go kill your brother. And it's just like something that didn't really need to happen. Like that whole scene I felt like was unnecessary, like telling him to go and murder his brother.
And that was supposed to be like a plot twist or something. Like that was like
it was supposed
reveal.
to be like a plot twist, but it really wasn't. It was kind of just like a little thing they threw in there. And it was like, if y'all had taken this scene out, the movie would still be the same movie. Like it didn't change anything. Yeah. It wasn't significant. It was just kind of said. So I thought that part was weird, and I didn't like it. I didn't like that part.
I mean, the flashback scenes were not terrible. Okay.
No.
The young actresses or young actors in the flashback scenes all did really good work.
Agree.
And it was all strong acting. My problem was the whole time, because the way that they marketed it, the whole time I'm like waiting, anticipating. Okay, where's come on, give it to us. So that's the only. Well, that's not my only gripe. Also, the color grading, but that's another story.
Yeah, I was like, wait, you said something else. All right, so enough about our gripes. What is something that you did like about this that you really enjoyed?
Okay, I did extremely enjoy the performance from Aunjanue Ellis.
You think we don't understand hard days? My goddamn cancer medicine stopped working. I'm sorry. Oh, Dad, I'm so sorry. Keep it. Keep it. I'm washing my hands of you. I'm washing my hands of you too.
No, you don't mean that.
I do mean it. I do mean it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of movies that go through and give you stories about terminal illness or cancer specifically, and the actors who kind of, act out those parts, because it's like a gradual disease and there's stages to it, right? Mm-hmm. I had never seen someone play it with this much. I was convinced. Like, there's even that scene where they decide to cut her hair. And I was like, no, this is really some hair cutting happening here.
Yeah, that surprised me. I was shocked by that.
Growing up, I had the biggest crush on Aunjanue because she was in Undercover Brother, and I watched that movie so many times. And I was just like, oh my gosh, yo. And then seeing the actress she's just become and finally getting like these roles that she can really handle is a treat. This is not to say that our other women also didn't give what they came to give. I was just so pleased with her performance specifically. And then there's that scene where she is expecting to, die or transition. And they go out to the tree. And I was like, no. I was invested, right? By that point, I didn't care about any of the first half of the movie, but let me be clear. By that point, I was invested, and I was like, no, this is crazy. And then when that pine cone dropped on her head, I was like, anybody else would not have known how to come out of that scene like that. She perfectly, and she came out of it because it was just like a quick comedic interruption to like, because you're holding your breath at that point. and it drops on her head and she comes out of it. It could have been really cheesy, really silly. But the way she segued, I said, man, this lady's a masterclass. Like, if she does not get some kind of like awards or recognition for this performance specifically, I can't even speak for the entirety of the film, but for her scenes, her performance in this role, I'm calling it. That's my favorite thing. What about you?
Interesting. So I'm going to echo you. I did enjoy the performances. I thought for the most part, the performances were great by the seasoned actors and then the younger actors. So the flashback scenes and then the present day scenes.
Yeah.
But I also really enjoyed the costuming. When we look at these films or shows that are like period pieces of a certain time, I always pay attention to like the fashion or the kind of cars that are being driven, or like, is it the 60s but y'all are holding a Starbucks cup? Like little things like that I try to pay attention to. And this, I think they did a really good job specifically with the costuming, like the hairstyles, the way the hair was done. It was very specific to the time. And then like the present day, which is actually like 1999 in this film. When we look at the present day, I was paying very close attention close attention to that, because it's so close to like now. And so it could be easy to like bleed into today's fashion because it's not so far away as the 60s. But I think they did a good job of like reminding you that this was the late 90s. So I really appreciated that. So shout out to like the costume designers who did that, because I think y'all did y'all's thing. And that was like honestly probably my favorite thing about the movie, to be honest.
I will say, I will give an honorable mention. Donna Biscoe. Donna Biscoe was the lady. I've seen her in other things as well prior to this film, but she played Minnie, who was Earl's late wife.
Yeah.
And every scene she was in, like, she brought all the comedy that was necessary, because this movie does take on some dark stories about like alcoholism, grieving, losing a child, racism, spousal issues, all this kind of stuff, and then of course terminal illness. And so having these little scenes that would pop up, and we would see this supposed to be grieving wife doing the most. Donna Biscoe did her thing. I did appreciate those scenes as well.
Yeah.
All in all, I'll say this: the movie, and this could be a bit skewed on my part with my rating. The movie kind of was a bit slow, especially those first 50 minutes that I mentioned earlier. It was just, it took its time. And if you are looking for that kind of thing, then it's fine. I think that if I had done the initial research, or like, read the book or whatever, I would kind of have not been so antsy about seeing the stars play out them as older women.
Yeah.
And so I probably would have had a different kind of point of view, but because I went into it the way that I did, completely blind almost, I'm gonna have to give the movie a Jennifer Lewis.
Okay.
If it was just me rating performance, it would be higher, but I'm just gonna consider the overall movie. It's okay to watch. I probably would. It's something I could watch with my mom, something like that. She probably would like it a lot more, honestly. I think it's a bit of a different audience that would appreciate it a lot more. But for me, I'm going to kind of ride that middle part, because while there is no lacking of performance in this thing, the movie is just a bit slow. And that could just be because we've been watching other things that are so much more exciting lately. I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, I'm with you when you're right. And the movie was very slow. I kept waiting for the moments for something to happen. And yes, things were happening, but there wasn't this one major thing that like really drew me in. We have seen so many films with Black trauma and drama. And And I appreciate that this movie shows other sides of like the Black experience. Like these people, they're not down and out. They're not poor. This is not 100% about racism. So there are different layers to the trauma that we see in this. So I appreciate them not completely leaning into the tropes that we always see. However, there's a lot going on, but not enough going on to keep me interested. I mean, you mentioned there's the cancer, there's the cheating husband, there's the losing of a child, there's a little bit of racism. Like, there's so much here, and it's like, okay, but what do y'all want me to focus on? Like, what's the point? What do you want me to get out of this? And honestly, leaving the movie, finishing the movie, I was like, who was this for? Who was the audience? We can't just say Black people. Who was supposed to watch this and enjoy it? And it just kind of left me feeling like something, I didn't catch something. There was something missing for me. I'm with you. Performances, A1 performances, love the costuming, things like that. But just the story for me, I was just like, I don't know what y'all wanted me to take away from this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. So yeah, for me, I don't see myself watching this again. Maybe if I was at somebody else's house and they just had it on, or like if I was getting my hair braided and the braider was watching this. I don't know. This is not something that would be a go-to for me. I was even thinking about like my mother and my grandmother, and I was like, I don't see them sitting here watching this.
I bet they would like it.
I just, maybe my grandmother, because it might remind her of a certain time, but like I don't see them feel like, let me put this on, this is my jam. I don't see it. I just don't see it. So for me, I'm going to have to go ahead and give this one a Kevin Hart.
Fair enough. I think there's going to be some people who are not going to be pleased with that from us, but
That's okay. That's all right.
Again, rating the entire movie. Keep that in mind. Mm-hmm. So if you've been watching for this long, please know that you can keep watching or keep listening. For the audio podcast version of this, we will continue our conversation and you can be a part of that. But if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And we will, we'll keep turning this out and we'll keep trying some new stuff. As always, I've been TeaRon. You can find me on Instagram at TeaRon with 2 underscores. Oh, no, that's wrong. You can find me on Instagram at TeaRon World. On TikTok at TeaRon with 2 underscores on the end. And you can find Ubiquitous Blacks all over the social medias at Ubiquitous Blacks. If you want to send us recommendations, informations, you can text us, email us, ubiquitousblacks@gmail.com. There's a lot of avenues here. But most importantly, you can support this show. There's a link in the show notes. Support this show. Click it. And, you can leave us a donation. Every bit counts. For $1 a day, you can. Please. And if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a symbol on the video, a heart with a little $sign in it. It's a super thanks, showing your appreciation for what we are doing here. If you enjoyed what we're talking about, leave a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. If you watch this movie, let us know what you thought about it, et cetera, et cetera. Tiara, where can they find you?
Yes, you guys can find me on my YouTube channel. It's Tiara Takes Travel. I'm over there doing travel content. So just look me up. It's at TIERATAKES Tiara Takes Travel. And also on the socials, you can find me there as well. And all things Ubiquitous Blacks. Or if you just want to make it easy, you can go to my website. It's tiaratakes.com. Come over and say hello, reach out. And again, check out my YouTube channel. I'm doing travel content, and I will echo TeaRon as I always do. If y'all have suggestions or recommendations or things that you want us to check out, send them our way and we'll do just that.
Straight like that. So the train will stop here for some of y'all, but again, if you want to continue the conversation, there will be a pinned comment where you can continue to listen to this conversation. So until next week, peace out.
Bye y'all.